Bill.
I know nothing.
Well, it's too late now.
Okay.
I know nothing.
Me either.
I thought you were wanting me to set it up for you.
And I just needed to find that little button.
All right, and then you'll. There you go. You got somebody on.
Okay.
Sherry.
Hey, y'all.
She always butts in on my life, so I'm gonna butt in on hers too.
Absolutely. We wouldn't be able to do it if it wasn't for him.
All right, let me ask you this. How come we have grandma and, oh, that's, okay, commercials, I gotcha.
You want me to turn around so you can see up here when people talk too, or just?
Yeah.
All right, hang on just a second, guys. I gotta flip the camera here.
He's being my IT guy.
What, they got cameras in the front and the back?
Yeah.
I'm very technologically challenged by choice. I could care less about
So
it.
now if you need to, you can see your.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, thank
You
you
can't
much.
see the comments on there, can you?
Should be able to.
Needs to be tilted down. There you go. There you go. We're good.
Are good?
Yeah. See if you can figure out how to get my comments to come up.
All right, well,
Oh, they're over here. Never mind. It's gonna take a minute.
old,
We're
fo-
technologically challenged.
old folks.
Yeah. Old,
Yeah.
you don't, old farts. You may as well say it.
We are old folks.
I still don't have any comments coming up.
All right,
I mean-
you can read them on there.
It's down that side for some reason.
We'll just go ahead and talk. I'll figure this out.
She's trying to figure out how to see the comments on the
We are,
iPad.
and we're a little early, but that's part of being old folk too, I guess. I might not be able to read the comments.
I know
there
I
they
can't.
come. I need my glasses. I can't see it that far away. Hey, y'all.
Where is?
Just leave me out of the picture and you
Absolutely
need to
not.
turn it where you can see your comments.
I know. I need to come over here. So I'm gonna scoot over closer to you. There we go. If I bring it up close, I can see them.
Where are they?
I don't know. Where did the comments go? They left on here
Oh,
too.
yeah, no. If you want to see them, just push up on this.
Okay. How y'all doing tonight? It's beautiful outside. It's I thought about doing it outside actually because it's just so balmy, but it's
Yeah.
dark.
You know, we had a record warm day today here in the southern mountains.
So you're looking good, Papa.
And
Hey, from Arkansas. Let me see. Let's see in Alabama and Arkansas. And we're Eastern time zone.
we are,
So Alabama, you are Central, right?
should be.
Ah, from the UK, it's midnight there. Oh my goodness. Thank you. I guess that's gonna help my paint. Bless your heart. Wind and snow in Minnesota. Oh goodness. And from Michigan. I grew up in Michigan. I grew up in Wayne. And actually it was the oldest house. It's still at the oldest house in Wayne, Michigan. We were visiting my Girl Scout troop. We were walking through the Wayne Museum. And I said, that's my house. It was hanging, a pic photograph hanging on the wall. It just really just shocked me. Okay, guys, I can't read very fast. So, I mean, well, I can, but I can't see very far. So, Louisiana. Okay. Pennsylvania.
West Tennessee, 78 degrees. You were warmer than us.
And Pennsylvania, for right now, yeah, it's a little early for you to be sitting with your door open. Louisiana. Manchester, Tennessee. Hello from Sweden. Wow, you're just right around the corner, aren't you? Okay, Wayne Road and Michigan Avenue. That was very
Wayne
close
Road,
to me.
yeah.
That was very close to me. I lived on Elizabeth Street. which was just a couple streets over from Wayne Road. So, and right on Michigan Avenue. So, I mean, we were about a block and a half. Okay, that's okay, Aaron. I can see them on here, baby.
Yeah, I
Oregon.
had it, but you have to update. Hey, I'll work on it.
Yeah, it's Chelsea has all the codes on that one. I don't know what they are.
You lost
All
your
right, I
comments.
did. Let me hit that again. Oops.
Yeah, so you just scroll up,
there we
and then like if you hit there, you can go up, or so if no new ones come up, then
Okay.
you just
I
gotta
gotcha.
you can scroll down to the bottom.
You guys are gonna just be really up close and personal with me and Pops because I can't read them from. There you go.
I don't think it'll take that kind of stress.
Closer than I expected you to be. New Zealand, hi. Very nice. California, Utah.
Yeah, our
You guys
sawmill,
got some of that bad nasty.
our
weather.
sawmill was made in New Zealand.
Yes, yes. His favorite piece of equipment.
It is.
Nice.
Where's your stick, Mom?
What's that?
Your selfie stick.
This is it.
Can we close it up for you so you can hold it and then you
I can. That'd probably be better. That'd probably be better. All right. Yeah, I need my glasses. They're in the kitchen.
All right.
And it's too
I think
close
it's
for me to
windowsill.
see.
I think it's
You're gonna be
There
scaring
we
people
go.
to death, all that.
There we go. Thank you, bud. All right. Yes, you did. Cat lady, you're here from British Columbia, Canada. Hello. And Edinburgh, Scotland. Hello. Minnesota. Goodness gracious, guys. You're from all
We're
over
from
the
all over the
place.
place.
Yeah. And we're early. We're early. We just, because we're old people. Old people are supposed to be early.
We had to have some. We had to have some help from Aaron getting
Yes.
set up,
That's all right. I can see. We're going to just do
and
it
he
that way.
got it. He got it wound up a little bit early.
Yeah.
Indiana.
Indiana.
Mom asked me to get it started for her, so
I
got it
did.
started.
I did.
I know.
Hugh and I were just sitting in here. We were just waiting for 7:00, and I told Aaron, I said, "Can you get this started for?" And he started it, and he said, well, "You're on." I said, "It's early." He said, "Well, you said start it." Indiana. Let me see. Florida, Oregon. Hello. Houston, Texas. Okay, snowy Oregon. Yes. Norfolk, United Kingdom. Hello. Massachusetts. Saginaw, Michigan. Been there. Holden, Massachusetts. In Alabama. It is a beautiful, the South is just gorgeous right now. I know some of you across the middle of the country and up in the north are just getting slammed. My brother, a lot of my family still live in Michigan. And they were snowed in this morning. They had some really nasty weather going on.
Yeah, Minnesota and Wisconsin looked like was getting hit hard.
Oh, I forget about hitting my little bump over there. All right. 80 degrees by Charlotte today. Yeah, we were probably that warm. We were absolutely. Oops. Sorry,
we were,
Aaron. I just it left for a minute. I got it.
Yeah.
I think it was 76 the last time I looked. Or a little farther west than Asheville. Anyhow, it was a record high today according to what television said, that's all right.
Yeah.
It was a good day today.
Indiana. Old is subjective. You only are as old as you feel. Some days I feel really, really old, and some days I feel like I'm still about 30.
I'll feel really old tomorrow.
He
I'll
will.
wait.
He's been building fence today, and I mean really building fence today. And so, yeah, he's gonna feel a little old tomorrow. I'll have to go in there and beat
It'll
on him to
be
get
a
him up.
Tylenol morning.
Yeah.
But I didn't bleed too bad this day.
Look
I
at his arms. Look at his arms. Let me see if I can turn around here. Oops.
He's got it flipped to the front now.
Yeah, he does. I'm sorry. I was trying to find it the other way. That's from,
That's from Floribunda Roses and Blackberry Briars.
yeah, he just cut up all over. Look at this arm. He's a mess.
part of building fence.
Yeah. How old is old? I don't know. I don't know. I think as long as you can keep moving and
I can still do anything I want to, just not as fast.
yeah. Yeah.
Takes a little bit more time.
Yeah.
I'll start a little later in the morning and quit a little earlier in the afternoon, so
Yeah. He has to come in and watch his westerns
I
and
do.
take a little nap.
I do.
Oh, so William, you've got a puppy with sharp teeth. Yes, thank you, Aaron. Smarty. He said he's watching so he can fix it when I break something.
And it will happen, probably.
Yeah, Papa has working arms, working hands. Show him your hands. These are some really, really big hands, guys. Years and years ago, he was known as the man with the really big hands, and they're just almost the size of a ball mitt. Oh, gracious. So,
Well, I'm almost 6 foot. Well, I'm probably still 6'5",
yeah,
but I'd look funny if I had little hands.
or little feet. He wears a 15 quadruple.
40
Yeah, those are some big feet.
big fat feet.
No, actually, they're shaped like a duck. He and all three of our kids had feet that were just real wide, and the front of their feet are real wide, so they
With a
have
real
wide toe
narrow
box
heel.
and a real narrow heel. And I used to just hate going shoe shopping with any of them because it took forever for them to find a pair of shoes that fit right and was comfortable. So, oops, I'm not scrolling, you guys. All right.
Yeah, we're going to miss part of them because we don't know how to work this thing. And it's too close, I barely can see it. And
Yeah. Yeah, and
I need my
I have to hold it way
bifocals.
up here and he has to hold it way out here. All right. Hi, Colorado. Oh, did you bake the bread? Good, good, good. I've got to bake bread tomorrow too. Yeah. Myrtle Beach. Yay. That's nice and warm there, 80 degrees.
Yeah, beautiful place, Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, I think we were close to 80 degrees today, weren't we?
Well, last time I looked, we were like 76 or something. I don't remember.
Thank you, Donna. We're
Do
cute.
what?
We're cute.
We're cute. Our silver hairs are shining through, huh?
And we got some light bulb heads. Hey, Oklahoma. In New Zealand. Wow. You guys got hit by a cyclone when? Just now or just today or within the last couple of days? I'm sorry about that. Okay.
Yeah, my
Stop
sawmill.
rocking. You're making you're rock. He's rocking over here, and I've got my
I
arm
can't
on
sit
it.
still. Never could sit still.
No, he really can't.
My sawmill was made by Turbo Sawmill, which is owned by Jake Peterson, and one thing that sold me about Peterson Sawmills was Patty sent him an email. I don't email, don't know how. Patty sent him an email about information for a Turbo Sawmill, and about 4 hours later, he called me back in person from New Zealand, which is great.
Yeah. Okay, I've never heard of American biscuits, but that's just kind of cute.
What is it?
Tell them they're Southern biscuits. Yeah, and y'all do have to try the biscuit recipe. Super duper easy. I grew up making biscuits, so
Biscuits are probably the most simple thing that you'll ever make in your life as far as bread.
and Debbie,
And, huh?
I'm sorry, Debbie said she left hers in a little longer because she likes them a little browner.
I
And
do too, but
He does.
they just barely like them brown. I like them really golden brown,
Well, I do too.
crusty.
I do
I like
too.
them crusty.
Yeah. Hey, New Zealand.
And a lot of New Zealanders today, huh?
Yeah. But you know, I was telling y'all today in the video that I actually uploaded it yesterday, but we're having some issues with our internet, so it took I think all night for it to finally download because it's supposed to have been up yesterday evening about 7. But yeah, Papa Hugh likes things burnt to a crisp. He
I
does.
do. Patty told me one time if I was a superhero, my
No,
name would
super
be
villain.
a supervillain. My name would be carcinogen.
It would. It would. That would be his.
I
that'd
like
be his
hot
name.
dogs burnt. I like my biscuits really burnt. I like my hamburgers, even a steak. I like a good crust on the steak, but I want it about raw in the middle.
Hey, it's more in Australia.
I seen Australia,
Yeah.
yeah. You better just keep strolling. They're coming in
Well,
pretty fast, and I can't keep up.
Yeah. They love your history, Papa, that you talk about. One of these days, he and Aaron are going to go up to the graveyard and talk about the tombstones and everything up there in the family history. Yeah, and now that's one thing he doesn't care for is really brown bacon, Brett. And I don't understand that because I can't eat
I like
chewy
my bacon
No,
kind
no,
of
no.
chewy.
Yuck. Oakland, California. Hello. But yeah, if the bacon does have to be crispy, and that's the one thing that I think he doesn't like really well done. And it's kind
Well,
of
it gets hard if you overcook it. It gets hard.
well, if you overcook it, it does. It does. Yeah, rubbery bacon. Nah, I don't like rubbery bacon.
I'll take it any way I can get it.
I know.
Pork is my meat of choice anyhow because growing up here, we killed about 3 or 4 hogs a year just for our family, and we're all big eaters, always have been, and we rendered lard, and Daddy cured the hams. I didn't pay enough attention when I was growing up because they quit doing a lot of stuff when I got big enough to really
Yes.
help.
Chocolate gravy, Elizabeth, and who back here mentioned the cat head biscuits?
Absolutely, chocolate gravy.
I
Yeah,
like chocolate gravy. I do.
sounds disgusting, but it's really good.
Basically just really buttery pudding. It's good.
That is just chocolate pudding on a biscuit, a burnt biscuit. You can't beat it.
Yeah. Oh. Uh-oh. He's got his Kubota axles wrapped up. That's not good.
Do what?
Apparently Robert's had a kerfuffle with his Kubota. If you've never had chocolate gravy, you need to find somebody from the South to make you some chocolate gravy. Oh, and do you know what Aaron calls them? And I think it's terrible. I've seen it on YouTube before or on Facebook. And baby pigs, he calls them bacon seed. I think that's the most horrible thing I can imagine. It's just, they are so adorable, and just bacon seed. That's just disgusting. Oh. I got all my soil block mixture mixed, but no, I haven't blocked them yet today. What was it I had
That'll be
going on all day?
tomorrow. That'll be tomorrow.
Taxes. That's what I did all morning long, getting my tax stuff together. We have an appointment with our tax preparer on Saturday morning. And oh my goodness, after this week, I'll be so happy.
With running a small farm, and we're not the most organized people in the world anyhow, so
I know.
we need all the tax deductions we can get.
Everybody does. We just
Because
kind of,
if you want to really spend the money, just take up hobby farming.
yeah. There's no money to be made. Well, no, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that because I plan for my little what is it? The propagation, my little plant nursery and my cut flower nursery, or my cut flower farm. It's going to be a money maker. I have no doubt. I'm just claiming that. But yes, and little piggies are cute. And Jermaine, Wisconsin, hello.
Too cold up there. That's too far and snaky.
Too far and snaky. I love sausage gravy too. And Hugh's the gravy maker in our family. He does a really good job with gravy.
That's a southern expression, it's too far and snaky. I've heard that all my life. At least it's southern Appalachia anyhow.
Cornbread is a staple here. It shouldn't be as much as it is because he's diabetic, but we keep his sugars under control pretty well. But who you haven't eaten chocolate gravy? Okay, Barbara, you'll have to ask somebody to to make it for you.
It's just warm, a really warm chocolate pudding.
Okay.
Is about all it amounts to.
Sausage gravy is where you take your sausage and you cook it down where it's just kind of really crumbly. And Hugh always adds about a stick, usually I think about a stick of butter, don't
Well,
you?
the sausage that we buy doesn't have a lot of fat in it, so you have to make a good roux for the base of your gravy. You've got to have quite a bit of oil, and we prefer butter just because we like the taste. Now, growing up, we used hog lard for everything. We made biscuits out of hog lard. My grandmother and my mother made soap out of a year-old hog lard. When we rendered the fat out of the pigs to make the lard, last year's lard, the rest of last year's lard was used to make soap. And I get tongue-tied pretty easy, so I'm not going to say things just right anymore. So
That's all right. Okay, and Anna is asking about how my sister is doing. My sister Teresa.
oh, she's doing good.
She is
now.
doing good. They
They
got
got
all
all the
the
cancer.
cancer. And so she doesn't even have to have the chemo or the the radiation. So we're really pleased. And I'm glad for that. Aaron says, now that I have slave labor here. He whines. I don't crack the whip all the time.
Aiden's the one that's slave labor.
Yeah, our hobby farm name on our vehicles. That's a good idea. Actually, the truck is part of farm. We can deduct that from the farm because we use
The
it.
truck belongs to the farm. It's even got a farm tag on it.
Well, Catherine, what did you think of the skin lotion? And I hope you liked it. Hello from Australia. Okay. May not be an English thing, but you know what? You could take it to England. I bet you would be loved for it. Gravy and sausage gravy and biscuits. That's one of the true
Well, it's a southern. I
jewels
guess it's
of
a
the
southern
South.
dish. It is, and
Well, we don't use the bacon grease. We use the sausage grease, but usually there's not enough grease in the sausage that we use.
I'm not
So
a
we
fan.
add some
I'm not
butter.
a fan of bacon gravy. Patty's mother used to make bacon gravy all the time, but I like sausage gravy. But the bacon gravy, that's just too greasy for me, and that's somebody that makes their gravy out of butter.
Yeah. Now I've never had tomato gravy, and yeah, and Hugh likes his bologna almost burnt. Lye soap, yeah. And I got just a precious gift of some soap from someone on here, and I hope that she's watching. And
Yeah, I really liked it.
Hugh absolutely loved that she sent for him, and so yeah, I've got to ask her where I order from, and if she'll let me put her information on here at some point, I will. You guys will love her soap.
Yeah,
Okay.
you will.
And yeah, I'll take Hugh making gravy. I can do that.
Oh,
now. Yeah.
We're going to stop and get some sausage first.
Yeah. We'll get some sausage, make gravy and biscuits this weekend.
Now, as far as measuring to make gravy, we don't measure anything around here. It just turns out how it turns out. And I say John Patrick's name come up.
No, you're seeing Judy Patrick.
Judy Patrick, okay.
Yeah. Hi, Judy. Yeah, he doesn't have his glasses on. He has to have it really far away. I'm glad you love the lotion. I love the lotion. I've been using it about 5 or 6 years. And it's just, to me, it for the cost, it is just so much better
The
than
lotion that you
anything.
make,
Mhm.
you've used it for 10 at least.
Have I? A long time anyway. Hugh uses it, especially when he's got
I
cuts
put
or
it
anything.
around my fingers and stuff. When my cuticles get cracked, I rub it in on my fingers and stuff.
Yeah, because it does help with
It
really,
does help.
really dry skin. Yeah.
A lot of sausage gravy and oh, in Oregon.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I guess it is an American dish more so than just
It
a
is.
Southern.
But you have a lot of people from here that moved out west in the 20s or 30s and so with the logging industry and stuff. I remember when we spent our short little time in Idaho, we had a cousin come knock on the door. 85, he moved to Idaho in the 20s. And through the family grapevine, he heard that we were out there, and we heard a knock on the door. When I opened the door, here was a little 80-some-year-old man saying, "I'm your cousin." I think his name was John Rogers. He was a Rogers. So it's a small world. It really is.
Have you ever had wild onions and scrambled eggs, Dixie
I
Sanskin?
have.
Okay.
That's right up there with ramps and
Ooh.
scrambled
y'all-
eggs.
Who's a ramp eater? And do y'all know what ramps are? It's a
Ramps a wild leek, I think.
yeah. It's not an onion, and it has a very, very strong smell. I'd never even heard them before till Hugh and I got married back 42 years ago. And no, I don't want anything to do with them. They're so strong. And talk about the smell of it will actually come through the pores of your skin. Ask him.
It will.
It's strong.
I like them cooked, but I don't eat them raw. And ramps grow wild all
Hey,
over
Bill.
Appalachia.
The chickens are loving the Taj Mahal. They put
Yeah,
themselves
they've
up
got
every
room
night.
now.
And they're laying in there. We're routinely getting at least 20 eggs out of the Taj Mahal.
And we have
And-
27 hens, so that's not bad.
So there's some somewhere else. Some of them have actually been laying in the goose lot or in the goose house. And right now,
Some in the duck house.
yeah, and in the duck house, possibly in the cat house. We've got to check in there because Aiden saw 4 chickens come out of it the other day. Okay, we don't have a P.O. box yet, but that is something that Aaron really needs to take care of. And I don't even care to give y'all our address. I mean, there's no reason to even have a P.O. box. I don't expect any of y'all will come for more than just coffee. come sit on the porch and have a cup of coffee with us. All right, what is a ramp? It's Hugh said it's like a wild leek. Wild leek.
And they are very pungent.
Yeah.
And we have a
Wilted
place on the
lettuce.
farm. It's ramp habitat, and they grow wild all over Appalachia. Jared said he even seen them in the woods in New York up there, but they didn't eat them up there, and they called them a wild leek in New York.
Yeah. And now let me look. Wilted lettuce. My mother and Hugh's mother both loved wilted lettuce.
Oh, I love kilt lettuce.
Yeah,
I do.
kilt. It's called kilt
Kilt.
lettuce here. Kilt. Kilt. I guess that's how it's
You know,
spelled.
kilt lettuce and onions and pinto beans was a staple of growing up,
He has green
especially
right
in
here.
the spring of the year.
It says first time to see you without your ball cap on. Yeah. He used to have the thickest head of hair ever. And he's a little vain about it because it bothers him that it's not as thick as it used to be, but he still has plenty of hair.
Well, I've got enough to
Poke salad.
enough to get by, and I'm in desperate need of a haircut, but it's hard to get mine and Patty's schedule worked out.
Yeah. Poke salad. Yeah. I've
I'm
heard
not
of
a fan
that.
of poke salad.
My mother and daddy were.
My daddy loved it too. My grandmother really loved it. I've cut a lot of poke leaves.
We eat collard greens mostly and beet greens. I'm going to grow the beets this year mainly
Right.
for
My
the
favorite,
greens.
my favorite green is what they call a creasy green,
Mhm.
but which used to grow wild everywhere. But then when everybody started, what they call it, a no-till garden or no-till planting,
Mhm.
they use a herbicide and they kill all of the creases. But in the spring of the year before you planted corn, we used to go through and cut greases. And now my mother would put them in like a linen sack about the size of a pillowcase because they're dirty when you cut them because of mud splashes on them. She washed them in the washing machine
Mm-hmm. And like a net bag.
in like a cheesecloth bag.
Mm-hmm.
And she had put them in it and she had tied off with a piece of string of sorts and throw them in the washing machine, and then we'd cook them. But they were really good. But if you can find creases in the grocery store, they're too steamy. There's not enough leaf and there's just all stem. And I cut the stems out of the collard greens. When we cook collard greens here at the house, I cut the stems out because I'm not a fan of the stems.
Teresa, there must be an egg shortage here as well because apparently they're really expensive.
There's a nationwide egg shortage.
Must be a worldwide because she's in New Zealand. Okay, and Aaron, what am I doing? I'm doing something too big to get to the P.O. box. Okay. He's complaining again, y'all. Good gravy. Yeah, we'll have cats hatching the
I think
the
maybe
chicken
something to do with
eggs.
the bird flu or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Yep. Eat polk salad. Is that what you're asking, Elizabeth? Okay. Did you say you weren't too much of a fan of polk salad?
I'm not much of a fan of poke salad. And you got to be really particular with poke salad. You've got to cut the leaves off of the poke when it first shows its head in the spring of the year. You've got to just get the upper leaves, the really small tender leaves. I've heard it said that when the poke gets too big, it could actually be toxic. But I don't know because I never did eat it because I didn't care for it.
Yeah, we grew up eating a lot of pinto beans and fried potatoes and cornbread. That was a staple. And Hugh's daddy layered his food. When we would be, everybody would be at the table with their plate fixed and in the process of eating. And Hugh's daddy, it would always take him at least 5 minutes longer than the rest of us.
It would.
And when he would come to the table, everything would be layered.
He had
And
a snow-capped onion plate.
and onion right on the top. And it was so funny. It just was his
Every
thing.
meal but breakfast, he had a diced onions on top of whatever he was eating, and it didn't matter what it was. He had diced onions on it. The only time he didn't do it was at breakfast. He didn't eat an onion at breakfast, which is surprising because he eat one every other time.
Now, have you ever had mustard greens? I've never had mustard greens.
I'm not a fan of mustard greens. They're a little strong. Now my grandmother liked my mustard grows wild all over this farm. Well, it'll be a yellow bloom everywhere.
Yeah. Now I have grown gourds. I've never grown loofah.
We have grown loofah.
Have we?
Yes, we
Since we've
have.
been married?
We have. By accident, we grew loofah. I bought some okra seeds
Uh-huh.
to grow okra, and it turned out that they were loofah. And I guess maybe, I'm not sure, but a loofah may be a variety of okra. Now my mother grew them, a lot of them, because her and my sister, that's what they used to take a shower with. They used a loofah pad to add defoliate or exfoliate or whatever they call it.
Oh. Yeah, it is the bird flu. I'm pretty certain. The berries are toxic. Yeah, poke berries.
They say they're toxic.
Yeah.
They'll turn you purple. We used to get in fights with them. We used to sling them at each other when we were kids.
Papa keeps
We'd be
rocking.
purple for days.
Wow. Yeah, the feed is expensive, that's for certain. That's why I said I fuss at my girls when I go out.
Somebody's
Because-
dad was big on potato soup. I love potato soup.
Yeah. But I fuss at my girls and tell them they're not earning their keep, especially this winter, because we went through a period of time when they weren't laying hardly anything. And
It was extremely cold too.
yeah.
And they put all their energy into staying warm instead of making eggs.
Yeah, one of 8 kids. Wow. There was 5 of us. I'm the youngest. I was the brat.
I never heard of a spring onion sandwich, but I've ate a lot of spring onions with a sandwich.
Now, do any of y'all grow nasturtiums to put in your garden. Nasturtium is a beautiful flower, and
They're
I
edible.
grew them the first time just
If you-
about 3
yeah.
years ago.
If you like a radish, or radish, whatever they call
Yeah,
them, they're flavored about like a radish,
they're a little
and you
spicy.
can get a hold of some that's pretty hot.
But a friend of mine, Crystal, if she's watching,
Oh Lord, somebody's asking about mountain oysters.
But she
Yes,
had-
I have eaten mountain oysters, and
Gross.
they are really good. But thank goodness most people don't know what they are, or they wouldn't eat them.
yeah. So anyway, Crystal said that her grandmother used to put the nasturtiums on her sandwiches. So, and I'd never heard of them
It would
until
add
that
some
Sunday
spice to
year.
it. It would.
Yeah.
It would add some spice to it. If anybody wants to try mountain oysters, if you ever eat a beef tongue, they're about like eating a beef tongue.
Yeah.
Which beef tongue, for breakfast, it's hard to beat beef tongue. Because my grandmother and my mother would boil them, and they're the ugliest thing you ever seen cooking.
I'm
And
certain.
then they'd skin them and slice them about a quarter inch thick and then brown them. Boy, they were great with eggs and stuff.
Yeah. So tell them what a mountain oyster is, because I know some of the people are going to be wondering.
They can look it up.
Chicken.
It's kind of disgusting.
Well, it's when
It's,
you castrate a little
it's,
bull, tiny bull.
It's bull calf testicles. Bull calf testicles is what it is. And it's just they're just a chunk of like it's like the beef tongue. It's just muscle, I guess. I don't know. But they have a texture about like a beef tongue. If anybody's ever eat a beef tongue,
Well, I will never eat mountain oysters. That just
We
sounds
didn't,
disgusting.
we didn't call much. If you could be cooked, we'd eat it.
Oh, Kathy, thank you. That's sweet.
We would. When I was growing up, when we'd come hog killing time, I was in the way most of the time when I was little. And when they killed the first pig and cleaned it, gutted it, Daddy would hand me the liver, and I'd bring the liver to the house up to my grandmother's house. And so we'd have liver and pork liver and onions for lunch. And the liver didn't even have a chance to cool off good. It was cooked within an hour. And it was really good. I like pork liver.
Now, Gwen, the nasturtiums, yeah, they can kind of overtake, but the thing about them is that they're actually a plant that it's a sacrificial plant, because it actually will draw so many of your pests to it. So when you see a lot of pest bugs on your nasturtiums, that's when you clip them off at the root, and you take them and you dispose of them, and you plant some more nasturtiums. And it kind of breaks my heart because they really are so pretty, but they are absolutely an amazing plant for that.
And they are prolific.
Chitterlings. Do you like chitterlings?
Chitlins?
Well, I guess how's it pronounced? Okay, Judy pronounces it
Well, the only
chitterlings.
thing I could think of is if we pronounced it chitlins.
Okay.
And no, I don't like chitlins or tripe.
All these things sound kind of gross to me. Yeah, they would be pretty to decorate the salads. Hey, Jennifer. Okay, no, I'll eat livers, but I've just never had an interest in eating tongue or brains.
Uh,
I could
Sounds
probably use
neat.
some.
My grandmother, a pig brain, my grandmother loved it, and the way she doctored it up and prepared it, they called it souse meat.
I'm sorry, William. It's kind of gross. I know.
Well, when our grandparents were coming on, they didn't waste anything at all.
Now, I could be a vegetarian, Lee, but I don't think I could be a vegan. That's just, I have to have my butter and eggs. But I think I could be a vegetarian, because
I can't.
it just hurts me to even think about, yeah. killing a little critter to eat it.
I like
but-
my meat.
and I don't eat that much meat, but
No, she does not eat that much meat.
oh well. Yeah, liver mush. My mother loved liver mush.
I've not had, well, my grandmother made us liver mush all the time during hog killing season. And I've never had any that I thought was as good as my grandmother's liver mush.
Right, and that was the thing of it. Anybody living through the Depression, I'm sure that was with my parents because they lived through the Depression. You just didn't waste anything.
Well-
You just didn't waste anything.
The Depression here in southern Appalachia, it come and went and nobody knew a whole lot about it because there was no commerce. They sold a few cows and tobacco and stuff like that, but my dad and my uncles and aunts said it come and went and they didn't know anything had ever took place.
I will, Judy. Next time I'll have to find my little photo album, but I will show pictures of when we got married. It was interesting because I grew up in Michigan. My family's from here in Haywood County, but we moved to Michigan when I was 4. And I met Hugh when I was 19 when we came on vacation. And my dad kind of guilted me into going on vacation. I was the last one at home. And
And no, I don't think I've ever eaten a pig stomach. I've eaten haggis.
but anyway, I met him on vacation, and my cousin was a friend of his, and they were all going to the Picking on the Green because Hugh's daddy, I think Aaron has mentioned before, Hugh's daddy was a world-class banjo player, and he was always performing somewhere. So that Saturday night, he was performing at the Picking on the Green in Asheville, and I went with my cousin and met Hugh, and 6 days later, we were engaged.
We were.
And then 3 months
And
later,
that's
we were
42
married.
years ago.
Almost be 43 in October. So,
Well, 4th of July weekend, we'll have met 43 years ago,
Yeah.
4th of July weekend.
yeah.
And I can't see a lot of these. I
Yeah.
barely can see them. So if we miss you, I apologize.
Rachel, I agree. An animal to me is a pet. It's just hard for me to, I've told you, I said, I can never eat a critter that I've ever looked in the eyes. So I try to stay away from his little calves that one day will go in the freezer because I just can't stand it.
I like tasty animals.
Hugh moves fast? No. Oh, you're talking about us getting engaged. I thought you were talking about walking. He's kind of a stroller.
I do most everything half the speed of smell.
Our anniversary is October the 11th. We got married in 1980. Bartlett pears, I bet that would make a good dressing.
Anything with pears makes good dressing. We eat a lot of venison, fish, and duck. They must be a big sportsman.
My oldest brother is he hunts with he's a world-class bow. I mean, he can shoot anything with a bow.
Oh,
And he's amazing, but he keeps a
yeah,
lot of
at
venison in his
68.
freezer.
He's what, 67, 68 years old.
Yeah, something like that.
He shot a tournament and got what, 290
No, he got three-
out of
he got-
300
He got
points.
320 out of 300 points. I don't know how that works, but
And
apparently
that's
it
at
does.
68 years old. So he's he's quite a marksman too.
Yeah, he is. He is. But he can cook, sometimes people talk about deer being gamey, but I've never eaten deer at his house that I would have known it was deer. He has just Deborah, my father-in-law is Carol Best. And if you go online and you Google him, Carol Best, banjo player, he'll come up all over the place. And there's a whole, what is it, at Mars Hill? a
You know,
tribute.
they have a tribute at Mars Hill in East Tennessee State, up in East Tennessee. They did a article on him. Actually, they did a whole program on him about him, and because my dad kind of broke the rules with banjo players. A lot of people got accredited for the stuff later than my dad was doing it. Uh,
But his dad didn't care if he got
my
recognition
dad
or
didn't
not.
care. My dad would rather help somebody learn to play the banjo than he would be recognized for anything. He won the North Carolina Heritage Award in 1994 for his preservation of mountain music. And
He traveled with the Banjo Institute all over the country.
he traveled with Masters of the Banjo Institute a couple of years.
They tried to get him to travel to Europe, and he wouldn't because he was afraid that if he ever if he were to get sick, that he didn't want to
He
end up
wouldn't
in.
be too far to get to the doctor.
That's funny.
Somebody got married in 1985. I can't see the fine print.
Catherine, you're almost as old as us. Saltwater fishing when the kids were small.
A couple of times, yeah.
Yeah, and a couple of years ago we went to Sanibel and fished a little bit there. We're hoping that we don't have to buy any more chickens because we have the rooster now, and he's quite amorous. But I will love to see the mama hens raising. So far we don't have any that are broody, so I think we're going to have to get us a hen that will be broody. And
We'll get us a game hen or something.
yeah. And Dixie, I'm sorry. I don't know what I'll do when this one's gone. I hope I go before he does. I don't know what he'd do without me either, here to take care of him. Oh. But yeah, it's hard being married that many years and then losing your soulmate. I've heard about soaking it in milk to remove the gamey taste of deer. I have. October 13th, they're right around the corner from us.
What's that?
I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. But anyway, married in October 13th,
Okay.
1984. I love rice pudding. I do. I love rice pudding.
And bread pudding.
Bread pudding.
I
I love
like
all
them
those
both,
things.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Dixie, your grandpa and your dad both played the banjo. Ah. Yeah. There's so many of you ladies that are widows, and it hurts my heart for you. It absolutely does. Yeah. Yeah, if you look for information about him, you'll find him. And it's just Carol Best. And
Yeah, just Carol Best and just put banjo out there and it'll come up. And he died in 1995, so he's been gone a long time, but he's got music still out there.
oh, Sue, so we share an anniversary and your husband's no longer with us. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Raymond Fairchild and Daddy were friends. Matter of fact, we have a Gibson banjo here in the house that Raymond Fairchild had built and didn't like it, so Daddy bought it from Raymond. And a lot of good banjo players come out of like a 3-county area here. We've got, of course, my dad, Raymond Fairchild, and Bobby Thompson was from Jackson County. And
His daddy actually created the
and
three
Don
finger.
Reno was over here from Canton.
But his daddy created the 3-finger melodies technique.
I don't know that my dad created it or not, but my grandpa played 2-finger, and my dad learned 2-finger, and then my dad and my grandpa both incorporated the 3-finger style. And that would have been probably about 1940. because my dad went into the Navy in Korea. He got drafted in Korea, and he played a lot of big band music. And somebody asked him where he learned to play all that big band stuff. And Dad said, well, I was stationed in San Diego, California, and they didn't play mountain music in San Diego, so I had to learn to play what they played.
Mm-hmm.
And now my dad was a good banjo player, a guitar player. He played the fiddle, he played the mandolin, and he was just an all-around musician. He loved music.
And Dixie, I couldn't eat one of my girls. That's the thing. I just, Hugh and Aaron have talked about raising meat chickens. And I told him, I said, I can help process them, but I will not be involved in ending their little lives. And I don't ever want to meet them until it's time to process them. And only after, that's just hard for me because I love my birds. They're my buddies. And y'all know that nobody likes my geese but me. I love my geese.
And
They're
you had
so
pecan
funny.
pie and what?
Where do we see
Right
that?
there, pecan pie bread.
No, I haven't, but
I've
that
had a lot
sounds
of pecan
good.
pie though.
That sounds good. Okay, and Aaron,
No, I don't play. I
he
did.
did.
And the reason being that it was hard for me to learn. It took me it took, like our youngest son could learn more in 2 hours than I could learn in 2 weeks.
Mhm.
So it was just a struggle for me. And then life gets in the way sometimes.
Now, Aaron was actually playing on stage with my father-in-law.
He was.
Aaron was 13 when my
I'll be
father-in-law.
back.
Okay, he'll be back. When my father-in-law was actually murdered, and that was so. And Aaron and my father-in-law were best friends. Aaron just loved his granddaddy, went everywhere with him. And so after that, Aaron put the banjo away and never touched it again that I'm aware of. And Jared was only 4 when my father-in-law passed, but when he was 11, he came to me one day. All of our kids had piano lessons, and Chelsea, she's even went to college, went to university for piano, but Jared came out of his piano lesson one day, and he said, "Mom, I'm finished taking piano," and I said, "Okay." And I said, "What do you want to do?" And he said, "I want to learn to play the banjo like Papa." So there's only one person in the world that we knew of that played like my father-in-law, and that was the grandson of the man that played the guitar in Carol's band. And so I got a hold of Flav, and I asked him if he would be willing to teach Jared to play the banjo, and he said, "Yeah." Well, they lived all the way over in Brevard, which for us was about an hour and 10-minute drive. So I would drive Jared over there every week. We took him over there for a couple of years, and he very early on was obviously gifted and won multiple awards. Was a exceptional musician, and he wasn't much for playing on stage. He just loved playing, but he won numerous awards from the time he was like 12 years old.
He did. If anybody's familiar with Fiddler's Grove down in middle part of North Carolina, it's down there at Harmony, North Carolina, Harmony Grove or Harmony or something. They have a little competition down there, and him and a couple of his buddies won everything down there.
Sharon asks, did your dad teach you one who went on to be famous?
Not that I know of.
He played with a lot of famous musicians, a lot of people that you'd recognize.
Well, he grew up with Don Reno and Bobby Thompson and stuff like that, and they both went on to make it famous. My dad played professionally when he got out of the Navy between like 53 and 55. But he did not like life on the road. He said when it's no longer being fun, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I never had chickens growing up, Dixie, so I don't. But I think that if I had them, I probably still would have made friends with them.
We eat a
Yeah.
lot of chicken and dumplings growing up because the only one my grandmother let us kill was the old chicken. She'd tell us which ones to kill, and they were old. So you eat a lot of chicken and dumplings. Fried chicken was on a special occasion.
Yeah, Aaron looks like he looks a little like both of us, and Chelsea looks so much like her daddy that when she was 18 years old, and this is funny, when she was 18 years old, she was working in Asheville at Eddie Bauer, and she had someone come up to her and say, "I don't know who you are, but you must be Hugh Best's kid," or something like that. And Chelsea said, "Yeah, I am." And it turned out somebody that had gone to school with Hugh. Hugh hadn't seen this person in 25 years. And then the same thing happened when she was in Georgia driving she was transporting a patient. She's a paramedic, so she's transporting a patient, and somebody came up to her in
You're going the
Georgia.
wrong way. You need
Yeah, I
to
know.
go up.
I missed some of these.
Oh, I
Um,
miss them all.
but anyway, she was 100 miles away from home, and somebody came up to her and asked her if she knew Hugh Best. And she said, "Yeah, he's my dad." And he's this person said, "You look just like him." So that's pretty funny. Yeah, my father-in-law was murdered, Dana, by his brother. It was just truly a sad situation. It just,
But what people need to understand that my daddy's brother was crazy.
he was.
He was
Yeah.
truly schizophrenic.
Yeah, his
And he
daddy.
had spells. So anyhow, it is what it is. You can't change your past. So
Yeah, it was just a
it
tragic
was
thing.
an unfortunate turn of events.
But my father-in-law was probably the kindest and most gentle person that I've ever known in my life. He and I'd been married for 15 years when he was killed, and I'd never heard him raise his voice. He was just a precious individual. So it was just a sad situation. But yeah, we like to talk about Jared. He was an absolutely
We do.
amazing individual. Carol's on Wikipedia, yeah. It doesn't surprise me. He should be able. You'll find him all over the place, and hopefully there's some videos on of him playing. We donated a whole lot of just recently, just within the last year, we donated a lot of cassette tapes to Mars Hill
practice
University.
tapes.
Yeah, his practice tapes, and they're archiving them. So that'd be nice. But yeah, and my father-in-law, there was always if he was home, there was always somebody coming by to just pick, just sit and pick.
When I was growing up, we'd go to a lot of these fiddlers conventions, and
Aaron, I love jam and jelly. I'm sorry, I interrupted.
we'd go to a lot of fiddlers conventions and music events, and my dad would rather spend time teaching a young fella or a young lady how to he'd help them learn the banjo than he would be playing with his peers. He loved to teach young people to play the banjo.
Did your daddy ever play with Earl Scruggs?
Not professionally, but he did on a few events play with Earl Scruggs. Earl Scruggs is North Carolinian too. He's from down east, actually
Yeah.
middle of the state.
If I missed a question someone had, please just repost it because I'm having a hard time keeping up just a little bit. The dark-haired little boy with the guitar was probably
Alan Johnson.
Johnson. Yeah, that my father-in-law, the man that played the guitar with him, that would have been his little boy. Aiden doesn't play an instrument. At one point, he had some interest in the piano, but he was just so tied up playing or swimming that there was not a lot of time to have any kind of other interests. Well, we enjoy making these videos. I tell you, I've had so much fun and just reading the comments and getting to know you folks. And um, I made Huey come in here with me tonight. Of course, I didn't make him come in here tonight. He likes to chatter too.
I'm doing what I do best. I run my mouth.
He does. I told Aaron the other day, I said, I said, when your dad goes with me anywhere, I always have to bank on an extra hour because he will always run into somebody that he knows, somebody he went to school with, somebody he worked with, family.
And that's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people. So I just, if it's, somebody that I have no knowledge of, or I just say, I'm going to go sit in the car, take your time. And I just go sit in the car and, play on Facebook or watch YouTubes.
Yeah, we went to pay the taxes the other day, and just going in the courthouse to pay the taxes, a fella I grew up with was in there, and we talked to him. We talked to them a long time.
A long time. Yeah.
But I went 12 years to school with him, and we see him around town from time to time.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm one of the few people, a few years ago, this is kind of funny. I went to elementary school at Crabtree Ironduff, and it was Haywood County Consolidated Schools in 1966. So I went through the 6th grade at Crabtree, and we had a 6th grade class reunion for Crabtree Elementary. Of course, there wasn't but about 25 of us, and I guess 10 of us or 12 showed up for down there. And we had our 4th grade teacher come. Now, she hadn't changed a bit. I mean, she's got to be in her 80s, and she looked just like she did when we were in school.
Mm-hmm. I'll always speak their names. Always. That's funny. Oh, I love any of them. Absolutely any of them, Aaron. They sound wonderful.
What's that?
Aaron makes jams and jellies.
Oh,
And she
cool.
said she would like to send us some. So yay. The rest of y'all, I'm sorry. I'll make biscuits and have some of Aaron's jam. Oh. That's about what I can play, Catherine's the radio. Yeah, Hugh has an accent. None of my kids have a real strong accent, but with me growing up in the Midwest, I didn't have
And my
much
accent is unique to Haywood County.
Yeah.
We have, especially the northern part, Crabtree, Ironduff, Fines Creek, and those areas, we have a different accent from Southern accent. And for why, I don't know. I heard somebody talk at us being from Scotch-Irish descent, that a lot of the words that we have are Gaelic words.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, some of you from England probably hear them a little bit more.
Does anybody know
close
what
to
a gom is?
Ireland, a gom, yeah.
A gom was one of our words, and supposedly that's a Gaelic word.
Mm-hmm. Y'all, we're over an hour. I don't know if we're limited on YouTube or not.
Do what?
I said we're over an hour. I'm not sure.
That's
whether
your
we're
fault.
limited. Sure, he's the talker.
You started this, and I can't even say part of the questions.
I know. We're gonna have to wear our glasses next time so he can see far away, and I can see far away and he can see up close. Okay, yeah, Aaron just messaged me. Somebody on here said not to give her address out. I
What's
guess
about Oklahoma University?
was it at Oklahoma University? Oh,
Which
she's
one?
asking Teresa. She's asking Teresa a question.
Okay.
But anyway, y'all just don't know how much fun this is for me. I am absolutely loving this channel, and y'all are great. You're just wonderful, and I appreciate so much the encouragement that I've gotten from all of you.
And I'm sure we missed a lot of comments, and I apologize, but
Yeah.
it's a little out of focus for me. And I'm
Yeah.
a slow reader. I read well, but I read really slow. So a lot of the questions come and go, and I can't keep up with as fast as Patty's scrolling.
I'm just trying to keep up with the questions. Yeah, and since he was here, we have another hour to go. That's just about, we could go.
That's about right, yeah. A gum? No, it's a GOM, a GOM.
A GOM or a G-A, yeah, a GOM. Muscadine, wild grapes, they don't grow here. They struggle if they grow here. They grow in
South of
South
here.
Carolina.
When you get down in the foothills and down in the upstate of South Carolina, yeah, muscadines and scoopernogs, whatever they call them, they thrive.
Do you know what a TUP is? A TUP?
No, I don't.
What
No.
is that, Allie? Yeah, Texas is such a big area. I mean, such a large landmass that I guess there's multiple accents there, especially being close to the border and different things of that nature would play on that, I would say.
I do have the gift of gab. I
He
do.
does. Deborah, thank you for joining us tonight.
And I'll see
We'll do this on a regular basis. This is fun.
I'll see friends out and we get to talking, but they asked me what I'm doing. I said, well, I'm doing what I do best. I'm running my mouth.
Yeah. GOM. Yeah, Sharon meant GOM. Yeah. Yeah. Scuppernog.
Oh, yeah, Scuppernog. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, a GOM is a mess. It's just a
It
mess.
is. It is. I remember my mother saying, clean that GOM up.
And Patty's roots are as deep in Haywood County as mine is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Her dad moved to Michigan to work in the auto factories because jobs were few and far between here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Messing and gumming around. Yeah.
The what?
Susan said she'd heard the phrase messing and a gumming around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they can, Catherine, and it doesn't bother me. It really doesn't. So I have not watched it, Joyce, but we listened to it on tape when we were driving back and forth to Michigan to visit family one time. We listened to All Creatures Great and Small, and the tape or the books on tape, it was
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah, we listened to it on vacation, going to the Outer Banks one year, going to Virginia or somewhere. And
They are my darlings, Jennifer.
the PBS series, All Creatures Great and Small, I like the early one a lot better than I do the one that's out now.
Yeah. Sharon, talking about a poke, are you talking about like a paper
paper
bag?
sack?
When my mom and dad first moved to Michigan, they lived up there twice. They moved to Michigan when my oldest sister was a baby. Then they ended up moving back here because my mom was so homesick, and then she missed having, the better income, so they ended up moving back. But she was in Michigan, and she said that she went in the store and asked for if they'd give her a Dopsy Cola and put it in a Poke. And she said they looked at
She
her like
asked
she
for a
was,
dope and a Coke.
yeah, she wanted a dope and a Coke. And they thought she was a dope and a
A
Poke.
dope and a poke,
Yeah.
yeah.
And they thought they didn't know what to think of her.
Yeah, my grandpa's brothers called a soft drink a soda water.
Thank you, Alita. Yeah. The painting is coming. I'm determined, but I've got to practice. That's just crazy. Okay.
Somebody lives in Michigan. Cool.
There's pretty good number of people live in Michigan. A hissy fit, yeah, I remember a hissy fit. These are fun. I do. I agree
I
with
have a
y'all.
lot of
I like
cousins that
this.
live in Texas. My dad's brother moved down there in the 40s working for Champion Papers in Pasadena, somewhere around Houston or something. Well, I was only there one time. And so he had raised 4 boys. and they all decided to stay permanent in Texas. They like Texas. I hadn't seen them in a long time, but
We only have 7 or 8 head of cattle, Rodney. And basically we're going to stay that small. We could actually have more on this little piece of property, but just so that we're not overgrazing. And we're raising them as pasture fed. And
we
so,
only have 25 acres left, so 7 is about to grow the winter feed and everything. 7's about our limit.
yeah, when Hugh and I first got married, his daddy had, I guess, 100 head or more.
It varied. We had anywhere between 70 and 100 head, but then he had a couple of 100 acres too, and had that old mountain pasture that was hard to get cattle in and out of.
I hope y'all just didn't go black and white. My screen went black and my screen went black because I have or black and white because
Your
I have
time's
it.
up.
Yeah, maybe I have it set for I don't know what it's set for. Chelsea said I hit a button. So anyway, but I'm assuming that on your end it didn't go black and white. Cause I go to bed at 8 o'clock now. So
Somebody made pets out of chickens.
well, I can see
Patty's got a
that.
lot of pet chickens.
Yeah. They're my darlings. Oh no. That would be terrible, Dana.
What?
She came home and found her chicken's head in the burning barrel. It was her pet.
That would be horrible.
Yeah. Yeah,
New
Catherine, you have a
Brunswick,
bunch.
Canada. That's cold up there.
The cow that was limping is fine. She may have just had a little splinter in her foot or something, but it was just a couple of days and she was fine. I'm glad we're in color. Hey, Donna. Oh, gracious. Well, y'all, it's my bedtime. I got to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, so.
I don't.
No, he doesn't. I get him up at 7. But anyway, and it is working for me. I don't eat after supper pretty much most of the time now. But it is working and I'm getting a lot more done. I feel good. So I think this little thing is going to work for me. Oh, well, guys, we appreciate it very, very much. We will do this on a regular basis because this was fun. This was fun. I enjoyed the chat, and I know Huey loves to talk.
3 inches of ice in the storm last night. Ooh, I hate ice. Snow's bad, but ice is nothing worse than an ice storm.
Mm-hmm. That's what, Dana, that's what Hugh's family did. When he was a kid, that's what they named their cattle. Things like ribeye and
Beefsteak and
yeah,
hamburger and
it's awful.
the
Awful,
pigs
awful.
we named pork chop and bacon and hammy and
That's awful. Bless. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. If you grew up in Alabama, I guarantee when you go to Michigan, they tell you you have an accent. And you know what's funny? Even though my family was from here, when we would come here to visit family, I had one cousin in particular that just tormented me. She was older, and she made fun of the way I said school, and she said, "It's not school, Patty. It's school." I can't even say it. I
it's
say,
school.
but anyway, I said things different than she did, and she just ragged me good.
The Southern Appalachian accent is kind of a really lazy accent.
Yeah, I know. It takes a while, William, because we're Southern, so it takes a while to say goodbye. All right. Well, guys, thank you for joining us. This was fun, and I will look forward to doing this again, hopefully really soon. I'll make Huey join me from now on because I asked him tonight if he was going to. He said, "Well, I can, but."
She's cutting into my nap time. I have to take a nap before I go to bed.
But I think he had such a good time, I probably won't be able to keep him out of here. So anyway, that's okay. That's okay. Love you guys. Take care. Have a wonderful, what are we on? Thursday. Have a wonderful Friday and your weekend. And
Absolutely.
we'll talk to you soon.
We will. Goodbye.
Bye, guys.